live.
Hello and welcome race fans to the Lucas Oil Raceway here tonight for the B main. 6 drivers and 2 others in points provisional trying to race their way into the Pit Stop USA 125 here tonight. Once again at the Lucas Oil Raceway. I'm Justin Kolb alongside Cameron Rich here tonight, filling in for Greg. And Cameron, flat track and a lot of guys seem like they're getting loose off the corners. We're in for a good show here tonight.
You're very right about that, Justin. Looks like these cars are quite a handful, and we do have, you said, a new sponsor on board from Pit Stop USA. Going to be giving some prizes out tonight in the A-Main. $25 gift certificate to the winner, down to $20 for second and $15 for third, as well as 2 additional $20 gift certificates for the hard charger and a random driver pick, as long as I do believe both need to not be in the top 3 by night's end. But it should be a fun night. Of course, this is a very different track than we've raced all season, a highline bias track. We're going to see these cars run right up next to the wall, but some drivers are going to be right next to the bottom, and we're going to see a lot of hard passing opportunities tonight.
Absolutely. You mentioned new sponsor here tonight. We thank pitstopusa.com for coming on board and giving these guys a little bit more incentive to race hard in the A-Main. So just a few minutes away from advancing this into the 50-lap race here tonight. Once again, top 6 are going to race their way into the A-Main here tonight. And then 2 guys on points will be able to race their way in as well. And 1 guy at the top of the point standings at the moment as the session just gets advanced, the 46 of Sean Breisman will once again have to race his way in. Showing he's not the best at qualifying, Cameron, but when you're so good in race trim, it kind of doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah, you know, you would like to probably not be in the B main if you don't have to, but he's shown all season that it really doesn't matter for him. Of course, very well in the point standings. I think he'll be just fine tonight. Of course, going to be starting up front here, and that's always what you want at a track like this. Quite hard to pass just because of the nature of the track, but we do have the grid for you here.
Well, the good, unfortunately for Sean, he just barely missed the top 16, qualifying 17th here tonight, but that does mean that he will be at the top of the B main, so not going to have his work quite cut out for him here tonight. I believe the last 2 weeks it's been possibly some contact with the wall or something that did not count a lap that's kept him out of the A main, and this week just a little bit slow on time, but with times being so close, I mean, it was pretty hard enough to race your way into the B main. So these guys, I believe, will get 2 laps around this track, and then we'll set them loose for 50 laps. Like, we got 13 drivers entered into tonight's B main. Once again, 6 drivers will race their way in. 2 guys will race their way in on points.
And really, a track like this, with all the stakes on the line, it's going to be probably going to see some pushing and shoving with how hard it is to pass here. Of course, going to have cars running right next up that wall, and just going to have to, I think, you know, Justin, this track kind of produces a type of racing that is frustrating, to say the least, for drivers, because it's so hard to pass. But we'll see how that plays out later tonight.
Really wanted to go. It's a very flat track, and like you said, Cameron, you know all too well that those tracks aren't always the easiest to pass on, so especially when these guys are up towards the wall. Gonna have their work cut out for them, and like you said, towards the end, expect some bumpers to be laid to each other, as all these guys want to make the A main, but only 8 of them are going to be able to. So pace car is off. Sean Breisman and Ted Shan will lead them to the green flag here tonight for 50 laps through 3, exiting 4. Sean Brightsman is off. Green flag is out, and we're racing here at the Lucas Oil Raceway. The 13 of Ted Shan already into the wall.
Yeah, Brightsman got a really good start. He's already the field by a couple car lengths, and looks like the 16 of Andy Fuller is going to pull in right behind him. Ted Shan, not the best of starts. He's got in the wall, and we have a caution out.
And I believe that was for the 2 back there of Joshua Beal, but there was contact towards the front, as you saw. Ted Shan just could not get away from that wall up towards the front.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a story all night tonight, even in A-Main. Just the way you have to run this track, it's so easy to get up in that wall and have our first victim of it tonight.
See there, the 7 of Dylan Huffine just came up a bit into the door. The 2 there of Joshua Beal. They look a little higher view from it. Good run, middle of the corner. Tries to take advantage of it. Just slight contact.
And it really wasn't all that much contact, Justin, just a little tap. But, we've seen all season that a little tap can send these super late models careening out of control.
Absolutely, and especially with how, on edge they already seem around this racetrack. We saw a lot in practice where off the corners it seemed like those guys were really struggling for grip. And already saw it a few times here tonight where just off the corner, these guys are pretty on edge.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the drivers saying that these cars are a handful, and you can see by the attitude of the cars, the rear end just really not in the track whatsoever. So, going to be interesting to see how these races go tonight. These drivers can keep the cars under them. That's going to be a key to having not only an incident-free race, but to have speed as well.
Absolutely. Well, 13 of Ted Shan, we mentioned at the start of the race, kind of kissed the wall, and it looks like he's gotten an EOL, I believe. Either way, he's looking like he's heading towards the back, but beginning of that race, kind of kissed the wall, couldn't quite get out of it, and even towards the back straightaway was still kind of hitting it. So that was interesting to see right off the get-go for Ted, and I'm sure he'd like a better restart this next time around.
And really, it's kind of interesting because the preferred line is around the top here, and of course the leader is not going to be starting in the preferred line. He's going to be on the bottom, so he's probably going to want to get up to that line as soon as possible. And if that second place driver gets a better restart, then we might see some pushing and shoving, like I said earlier. But we'll just have to wait and see.
And that's been the one kind of interesting part about this whole season so far. Is looks like we have another driver going to the rear, but the leaders have gotten great restarts, and we've only seen a few times this season where second place has either gotten an even restart or a little bit better of a restart than the leaders. So Sean Brightsman, no stranger to the front. I imagine he'll be all over this restart, and Andy Fuller is going to have a little work to do on this restart, make sure he draws even.
We should be coming to the 1 to go here. Been a couple laps under caution. Do have one driver 1 lap down, Dale Winterberg in the 70 machine. So that is probably why we had the extra lap of caution. But regardless, we should be getting ready to go here. And of course, paint flights are off, so we're gonna be getting going racing here in just a moment.
Looks like it'll be a single file restart, so we can kind of negate what we were just talking about. So the other car I mentioned.
Cares.
Yeah, the other car I mentioned that went to the back was the 7 of Dale Winterberg. So he is not all the way in the back, but close enough to it. So pace car will pull off once again, and we'll try this restart one more time here. Brightsman still your leader, Andy Fuller in second, Josh Robinson third, Brian Lambert fourth, Daniel Masters, friends at top 5, green flag back out, and man, Brightsman all over that one. About 5 car lengths the gap at the line there.
Yeah, that's a huge gap going into turn 1. We see a 16 car, Andy Fuller driving it really deep into turn number 1. Not going to look at the runoff. That's going to go to Brightsman. Oh. He's got about a 7 car length lead going into turn 3, so pretty substantial lead so far. Even further back to the 47 of Josh Robinson, we have a battle here. The 5 of Brent Holloway and the 2 of Joshua Beal. That's for 9th place, and give that to Beal.
A little bit behind there, you can see that on screen. Huffine's underneath that 70 of Winterberg. Couldn't quite get the run there, and that's going to be the story all night. Just no real momentum you can get on that bottom line.
We have a battle for third place, it looks like.
The 74 around on the front straightaway. That is Brian Payne. Another car involved. Looks like the 53 of Jade Williams.
A lot of damage to the front of that car. Let's see what happened here. Looks like he just got in the wall a little bit, maybe.
I'm thinking...
Oh, no. Just looks like he pushed up and just lost the momentum.
And got a little help to go around. I thought we were going to see another situation of just getting loose off the corner, but that rear end got a little help to get turned around. On board the 53, Jade Williams.
Yep, just pushed up a little bit, and really not much you can do in that situation when a car in front of you just loses the momentum like that. You can jump out of the gas all you want, but you're probably still going to hit him, so it's a tough spot to be in.
Taking a look from behind the 74 and explained it perfectly there. Not much he could have done there.
Yeah, that car is banged up on the front and rear, so thankfully with these super late models, they can really take a beating, so maybe that car won't be too bad off damage-wise, but we'll have to see. Definitely don't want to get damaged if you don't have to, but it's not the end of the world regardless.
I imagine this track not too aero dependent with how small it is, so shouldn't be too much of a factor there. But we are under our second caution of the night here on lap 11. John Brightsman still your leader. Andy Fuller in second. Robinson in third. When we went green off turn 2, Robinson actually caught the wall just a bit. Wasn't too hard of a hit, but did nick it just a bit. Brian Lambert in fourth and Daniel Masters turns out your top 5 here tonight.
And Brian Lambert, I saw him right before the caution came out. He was running that extreme bottom lane of the track, actually making it work quite a bit. So we'll have to see if he can get a little bit closer to the front. Of course, not imperative. He's in a transfer spot right now, but probably wants to use this race as a bit of a test, just to see if he can, make that line work. It's the A main, but we'll see later on. Of course, we know how hard it is to pass on this track on the bottom, but you always have some drivers who want to just try everything they can, so I think he was doing that himself.
Absolutely, and that's one benefit of this B main. Obviously, you don't want to be in this race, but should you advance in, it gives you a little bit of what to expect here tonight, and you get a chance to see what works, as you explained, and it just gives you a race before the race.
Yeah, as a driver yourself, Justin, no practice is ever bad practice, and if you can get just a couple more laps for the competition, then should help you a little bit when the race comes around. Maybe he'll know something that the other drivers don't know when we get to the race time, or maybe he'll just have a little bit more guts per se, just to kind of make that move on the bottom if it comes down to it. But we'll have to wait and see.
There. Well, I imagine we'll be getting one to go this time. Again, Brightsman, your leader, and safe to say these past couple races he's gotten the most practice out of everybody in this field, both the A main and the B main. As he's been in this B main, and I tell you what, he's passed a lot of cars both times he's been in this B main. He's had to race his way into it from, I believe, pretty deep field these past 2 times. So definitely got a lot of passing practice. That's not going to be the story here tonight, so far at least, as he's been up front and has led all 13 laps so far.
And he's going to want to keep that car out front, but speaking of out front, the pace car no longer out front, pulling into the pits, and the field in the hands of Sean Brightsman still for this pretty long trek through 3 and 4 till we get the green flag. Relatively, usually get it pretty early on, but we are green again. Sean Brightsman gets a great restart again. He's pretty good at those restarts so far, gap in the field, but here comes the second place car of Andy Fuller. He's driving it very hard into turn number 1 every restart. We have a battle for third. Brian Lambert, Josh Robinson. Robinson's actually going to lose a little bit of momentum off the corner. Actually, still losing spots, so maybe we were too early on that whole call on the bottom line.
Oh, and we got the 2 of Joshua Beal around off corner number 4. He'll keep it straight, so we will get no caution. I don't know if he nicked the wall at all. He was definitely heading that direction.
Yeah, that was a great save. That car was all sorts of out of shape and somehow didn't managed to spin it, but of course that's going to be not so good for his transfer opportunity because he lost a lot of spots there.
You can see he did not get that one. He did a great job of locking him up and making sure he did not slide any further towards that inside wall. So we'll just lose some spots and keep going. So we'll lead lap. Only one car out of the race so far. It's the 70 of Dale Wennerberg.
Not much happening here at the front. You're looking at the back of Sean Brightsman's car, looking at Andy Fuller.
Man, Brian Lambert really drove it into turn 1 and did get the wall a bit. He's been pretty aggressive ever since the drop of the green.
Yeah, I've been watching him, and he's just trying to make something happen. Of course, he lost a lot of momentum on that start, but got it back, got his car back around the 3 of Daniel Masters, and he's all over the back of Robinson in the 47 car. Just can't find a way around, but we'll have to see if he can make that bottom line work like he was early on this race. Looks like it's not working so much right now, but as I say that, see the 16 of Fuller running in that kind of middle line. Really, when we say the bottom line here, it would mean like the middle line, because it's really rare you see drivers run on the extreme inside right next to that yellow line at the bottom.
I think the only time you're going to see that is a forceful 3 wide situation. Like you said, you really don't go down that far. That middle groove seems to be the widest in terms of where the seams are, so that's about as low as we've seen anybody go so far here tonight.
Looks like the best battle on track is this battle for third. Robinson, Lambert, and Masters right under a blanket. All these 3 cars really are all in the transfer spot as of now, but these are racers, and of course put them in a race and they will race, so you want to get as far ahead as possible.
Lambert got a good run through that corner. He's going to lose some momentum, and Daniel Masters just behind. Going to catch a lot of that 52 and right on the rear bumper now.
And really, this is good for us to see what's going to happen. Ooh,
oh, man! Is he going to hold on to it? He will. He's going to lose about 2, 3, 4 spots. I just had to open my mouth about Daniel, huh?
Yeah, I think that whole loose car situation is rearing its ugly head. We've seen that a couple times tonight. Joshua Beal and now Daniel Masters getting really loose. I think the same corner, right? Turn number 4.
Yeah.
Might be Calamity Corner tonight, so we'll have to see if that becomes a thing, but not much at the front. About a second lead between the 46 of Brightsman and Andy Fuller directly behind him. We have a battle behind Daniel Masters, almost some contact off turn number 2 there, but they keep going. It's a 5 of Brent Holloway and 13 of Ted Shan. Ted Shan, your outside pulse hitter, not having the best of race so far, so he'll want to get ahead of that a little bit.
In 3 and 4, kind of lost the momentum there, so he's going to have to get to work on trying to catch down Brent Holloway. But other than that, about the best battle on track. Everybody else just kind of single file, trying to catch each other. I'm sure up here towards the front with Brian Lambert and Josh Robinson.
Yeah, I think that's the best battle on track right now. It's kind of equidistant, really. These cars are kind of running around almost in like a choo-choo train. Lots of cars just running about the same space in between each other, so might be hard to pass all around tonight, but we do see some multiple lines coming into play. A couple of cars running lower than others. See the leader of race kind of running in that middle to high groove, and really it looks like that's the preferred line. Actually, excuse me, the leader of the race running right next to the wall, and second place running that middle to high groove, so not really sure which groove is the preferred so far, but we'll have to wait and see for that one.
Why did you say that, Cameron? The 46 of Sean Brightsman took it to the bottom, entering the corner, went up high, so he might be trying to experiment a little early here tonight, as he does see some lap cars just ahead of him, the 2 of Joshua Beal, not too far out in front of him, as we are a little bit past halfway here tonight. And 2 of Beal there was all the way towards the line, so see what kind of, or see where Brightsman will want to run once he gets there.
And here we see the 80 of James Paulson and the 7 of Huffines battling on track. They're running about the same lap times right now, and you know, it's good for Dylan. He's kind of experimenting with the lines and seeing if he can get around that 80 machine, but not able to do it so far. But he's very, very close there on track, so we'll see if he can make something happen here.
That rear bumper, seeing what he can do here in 3. Close, but not going to be close enough. Be right on board with the 7 of Huffines.
We'll see if we can look at his wheel input, seeing if he's putting any right-hand wheel into it. See if he's counter-steering off the corner a little bit, because we know these cars are a little bit loose. Some of them are kind of tail-happy, and see if he's having that problem in this car. It doesn't look like he is. Looks like that car is pretty stable for him. And actually, as I say that, he does turn to the right a little bit, so
those guys
be wrong there.
Seem to be the lowest that we've seen them all night coming off that corner, almost at that yellow line. So those two, at least, they're getting lower and lower on the track. Not something that I thought we would be seeing here tonight, but seems to be the way that they're going.
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting. I wouldn't expect that either, but you know, we've seen weirder things. Oh, there's a lot of right-hand damage on that 3 car, but it doesn't look to be slowing him down too much. He still has speed in it, but he will need to get by the 7 if he's going to want to transfer into the race on position alone.
Daniel Masters trying to gain some spots after a great save off corner number 4. Going to get back into the transfer position. Brightsman has extended his lead out a bit, as they did both first and second get by the lap car of Joshua Beal. Be without incident as well. 15 laps to go. Brightsman about 1.2 seconds ahead of Andy Fuller.
Yeah, and about a further 2.5 seconds back to the 3rd place car of Josh Robinson. So looks like those positions, as of now, are set, excluding something happening, which you know, can never rule out. I've seen cars get loose and such so far, but looks like the 3 of Daniel Masters kind of fallen off Dylan Huffines a little bit. Was right on his rear bumper, but a little bit, maybe that damage is hurting him. We'll have to wait and see, but that battle for the 5th spot still raging on with Paulson and Huffines.
Masters seems like he hasn't ventured too far off of that high line. He's kind of kept it the highest of those 2 guys ahead of him, at least. A little low there, but before, I believe at the beginning of the race, he was kind of glued to that high line and couldn't get away from it. Not sure if that little slide off 4 has kind of changed how he attacked it.
And just ahead of these 3 cars, we have the 52 and the 47 battling for P3. Looks like Lambert is a little bit quicker than Robinson. Just can't find a way around him. And, you know, Lambert looks like he's driving it in a little bit deeper, but Robinson just kind of rolling the corner a little bit more and getting that better run off, allowing him to stay ahead of Lambert.
Cameron, I wonder how many times we're going to say that here tonight. Just can't find a way around him. And as we say that, the 3 of Daniel Masters on the attack, trying to get by the 7 of Dylan Huffines, as we get the lap car of Joshua Beal. 3rd and 4th will get by. 5th, 6th, and 7th will have to deal with him in 3 and 4.
Yeah, you're very right, Justin. I think that's going to be the story of tonight. I think we've kind of said that already, I think, but we're really seeing a preview in this B main of what's to happen. Looks like that 3-car battle kind of got broken up a little bit, but we're still going on here.
Well, 5th and 6th didn't have to deal much with that lap car of Joshua Beal. You saw the screen went black, kind of blinked out, and I believe he's having some connection issues here tonight. Saw him kind of blinking in and out during practice, but 5th, 6th, and 7th get by, and 3rd and 4th trying to do battle here late in the going with 9 laps to go. You mentioned Brian Lambert seemed a little bit faster. Well, he will get to the outside for a minute and will fall back in line, but that 47 almost to that yellow line.
Yeah, and just like that, 2 battles became 1. Here comes Lambert on the bottom, and he's going to not be able to make the move, I don't think, but he is there. Definitely a little bit quicker. Just, you know, he's got to be careful, though, because if one wrong mistake can really bring those 3 cars behind him past him, and he's not going to want that. And if you're Daniel Masters here, it's go time. You got 7 laps to go, and you got to do all you can to make the race.
And I think at this point, should the 52 not get by, those 2 battling are going to kind of hold up those 2 ahead of them. That might be all Daniel needs to be able to make the pass, as those 5 cars have all come together, 5th or 3rd through 7th.
Not much going on around the track. This whole battle, about 5 seconds behind the leader. Andy Fuller has actually caught Sean Brightsman just a little bit, that lead down to about 0.8 of a second, but really not going to matter at this point. Both cars are going to make the race if it stays as is. So we're going to stay on this battle for the transfer spot. Daniel Masters probably actually a little bit quicker, even with that damage, than the cars in front of him. But just you know, like we said, so many times in this B main, just can't make the pass, can't find a way around. You can't just dive down to the bottom like you can any other track. Actually, 7 of Huffines looking on Olsen, but that might be a bad move for him, because if that 3 sticks his nose on the outside, then he could lose the spot himself.
He was lucky that Masters did not have more of a run than he did, but that battle, or the 5th, 3rd, and 4th, and then the battle behind him are kind of separating back out now at this point with 3 laps to go. Could get interesting here. Here comes Masters, tries to get to the bottom of the 7 of Huffines. Does not have enough of a run off corner number 2.
And as a driver, this is so frustrating, because even if you're faster, it's just, you know, there's not much you can do in this situation. You just have to wait for a mistake in front of you, and really it's... Ooh, he drove it in. Masters drove it in. Ooh, my God! We have a...
Oh, and there's a caution on the right. The 47 of Josh Robinson, who was running 3rd, has spun around, brings out the caution. All of a sudden, he goes from being locked in to out of it here tonight.
I think there was some contact there with the 52. That's why I was kind of waiting to see what happened.
Oh.
And definitely there was. You saw it right there.
What a shame. 47 of Josh Robinson.
So we'll have to see what the ruling is on that, but I believe that will probably eliminate the 47 and the 52 from the show. Correct?
That would most likely, unless they do not send him to the back if they deem him the cause of that caution. We'll have to wait and see what they rule it all, but checkered flag has flown. Sean Brightsman is your winner here tonight. Andy Fuller comes home 2nd. Brian Lambert for the time being 3rd. James Paulson in 4th. Dylan Huffines 5th, and with that spin, Daniel Masters finds his way into the show in 6th. So he was going to have 2 more shots at it with that white flag, but now he will be in the show.
Yeah, very interesting. We'll have to see how that plays out, what race control says about that spin. But if anything, that car on screen right now, Sean Brightsman, showing he's pretty quick tonight. Led all 50 laps, I believe. So he will be a force to be reckoned with in the A main, as we've seen all season. Even if he's in the B main, he's always quick in the A main. Just can't get that lap down in qualifying, which, you know, is not a problem. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But either way, I think we've seen the story tonight. Very hard to pass here, and it's going to be interesting when we have twice the amount of cars on track.
Sure, well, let's see if we can't talk to our winner here tonight, the 46 of Sean Brightsman. Sean, Justin here in the booth, you got a copy?
Got you, Justin.
All right, well, just barely missed the top 16, so I had to run the B main again, but showed that car as fast as usual, led all 50 laps here tonight.
Yeah, we ran pretty good in qualifying. I screwed up the driver. Decided to get a little bit more throttle on it and got a little loose and put us into this position. So we definitely had to work our way through running a clean race, and any challenges there from Andy and Ted before that first caution. It's going to be a fun race tonight. Track's real slick. Car's a handful. It's going to be a fun race.
Like I said, once again running the B main here tonight, and that gives you a little chance to kind of figure some stuff out before the A main. Did you learn anything that you can transfer over?
I don't know, because I didn't get in traffic. I hope I learned something. I hope I conserved my tires enough and still ran hard enough to keep pace with people. So I'm hoping something was learned, and we'll see here in the A main as we start in the back.
All right, well, we hope to talk to you again once again in the A main. Congratulations on this B main win.
Thanks, Justin.
That was your winner here tonight in the B main, Sean Breitzman. And if we can't track down our second place finisher tonight, Andy Fuller, and we have him. Cameron, you're with him.
Andy Fuller, this is Cam Rich in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you. You got me?
I do have you. Well, pretty quiet race for you tonight. Looks like you were kind of just right there with Sean Breitzman, not really able to do anything. But did you really have a strategy coming into this race? Just kind of take it easy, or did you want to like try to run it hard and see what you had?
Honestly, I was a little bit surprised by my pace. I thought I wouldn't have that much pace. Was expecting the start to go bad. It went really well, so I can't complain about that. And yeah, I saved my stuff for the green flag run. I tried pushing a little bit there towards the end, but I had nothing. But I was really happy with second.
Yeah, we were watching some of the drivers out there tonight and watching the steering inputs and hearing some of the comments from practice. Seems like the cars are pretty loose. Did you kind of feel that in your car?
Honestly, the line I was running and stuff, my car felt really good. I was just trying to be really conscientious with my throttle input, getting off the corners. But no, it felt great to me.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for talking to us. We hope to talk to you again after this B main, but congratulations on finishing second, and thanks for talking with us.
Yeah, thank you.
I think Justin Kolb has caught up with third place of Brian Lambert.
Yes, sir. Brian Lambert, 3YTV. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, man. Well, it seemed like a good race for you up until the end there. Just a little bit of contact there with the 47 of Josh Robinson.
Yeah, I hated that happened. I didn't think that I got into him enough to spin him. But apparently it was either a combination of net code or just got close enough. So, yeah, it's a bad deal. I feel bad for it.
Well, tonight in the B main, seemed like you were really taking advantage of being in that race, and seemed like you were really trying to get racy and see what that car could do. Did you learn anything that you can transfer over to the A main tonight?
Yeah, actually, I don't think I'm going to be in the A. I think they moved me to the back because of the contact. But, yeah, normally, you're running in a transfer spot and you wouldn't want to push. But I felt like the guys behind me were coming pretty tight, and there was 3 of them. And so somebody was going to be odd man out, and I was just trying to make sure it wasn't me.
All right, yeah, that kind of confirmed what we were thinking they were going to do with that contact. So, unfortunate that will boot you out of the B main, the A main, but a great run for you here tonight. We hope to talk to you next week, Brian.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
That was the 52 of Brian Lambert, and Cameron, that confirms what we thought. The contact with Josh Robinson will unfortunately take both of them out here tonight. We'll have to wait and see if Josh will get a points provisional, but I'm thinking most likely not, but we will have to wait and see once we get into the race.
And of course, it's all unofficial as of right now, but that should be good news for Ted Shan. He should make it to the race, and we'll have to wait for official word on that. But here we have your results. Sean Breitzman coming home with the win. Andy Fuller second. Brian Lambert finishing third. Not really, though. He's going to be moved to the back. James Paulson fourth. Dylan Huffines fifth. Daniel Masters sixth. Ted Shan seventh. Brent Holloway eighth. Brian Payne ninth. And Josh Robinson, of course, involved in that last accident, coming home 10th.
We're going to have Joshua Beal in 11th, Jade Williams in 12th, and Dale Winterberg finishes out in 15th here tonight. Or 13th, excuse me. Alright. Well, saw what we thought we would here tonight, Cameron, for this B main. Just not a whole lot of options to pass, and kind of came to pushing to shoving as we thought at the end.
Yeah, it's really a shame that happened because, of course, that did effectively kick both of those drivers out of the race. But you know, sometimes you have to do what you have to do, and I don't think there was any ill will from the 52 on that part. It looks like he just got in the gas a little bit earlier, and you know, sometimes it just happens. But either way, that's our race for tonight. That's our B main, actually. But yeah, we'll see if that does come to play in the A main. We kind of saw what the track is going to be. Really, I don't see if we have a dominant line so far. It looks like some of the drivers are running high, some are running middle. I have to assume when the track rubbers in a little bit in the race with more cars on track and more laps. Obviously, we'll have to see if the track conditions kind of warrant the track moving down a little bit. But actually, we did see the groove moving down just a little bit, like you said, Justin. So I'll have to see if that happens in the race. A-main.
Yes, sir. And I believe we have BJ Tidrick here. BJ, you got a copy?
Yeah, I just need to talk to Carlos real quick.
Okay. All right. Well, a fantastic B race here tonight. We're gonna step away for just a quick second, and when we come back, it'll be A main racing here from Lucas Oil Raceway. Don't go away.
Pit Stop USA is the online motorsports superstore. Pit Stop USA has over 100,000 products from over 600 of the top brands in racing. From sprint cars to street stocks, late models to modifieds, racers everywhere have trusted Pit Stop USA for over 17 years. Racers nationwide trust the experts at Pit Stop USA for keeping them safe, and we carry the largest selection of driver safety equipment on the planet. Whether you're looking for a new helmet, a racing suit, driving shoes, or the latest in head and neck restraints, Pit Stop USA has the safety equipment to keep you safe from head to toe. Pit Stop USA is the online motorsports superstore. Visit us today at pitstopusa.com.
Hi, I'm Brad Morrison with MountainView Polaris. Tired of being cooped up all winter long? Tired of your old lady complaining about this and that? Let's give her something to complain about. Come on down and see us here at MountainView Polaris. We got a great selection on side-by-sides, ATVs, and even a few snowmobiles. We also have products for the kids. We've also been known to do a deal over a good old bottle of tequila, or hell, even a simple coin flip. It's always easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission, so come see us, MountainView Polaris.
Do you have an old crap can like this taking up space in your driveway? Are you still holding on to your old high school whip? Did your aunt run off to Alaska with her boyfriend and leave her shitbox Cadillac sitting next to your house? If so, call Woffords Towing. They haul off junk cars just like these, and they even pay you cash for those old clunkers. So let's recap. We take your pile of crap, we put it in our state-of-the-art pancake maker, and we squeeze out all the cash. Woffords Towing and Auto Wrecking, 201 South Frontage Road, Wapato, 509-877-4944.
And we welcome you back to the Lucas Oil Raceway here tonight for the PitStopUSA.com 125. I'm Justin Kolb alongside Cameron Rich, and Cameron just saw a really good B main and gives us a little taste on what we're going to see here in this A main.
Yeah, we saw Sean Brightspeed all 50 laps to win the B main, and we saw a little bit of pushing and shoving with the 47 of excuse me, Josh Robinson, of course, not in the server yet. Actually, he is. I'm just blind. And the 52, that would be Masters. Right. Excuse me, not Masters. But we saw some pushing and shoving, Justin, in the B main. We thought we would see that, and we did. But let's see if what we can get in this A main. Didn't really see a dominant line throughout the night. We thought that we might see all the cars running up next to that wall, but of course the winner of that B main, Sean Brightsman, kind of moving all around. Might have seen him just kind of trying lines out, but of course we are at the real race tonight per se. And surprise, surprise, Jason Berg at the top of the boards with a 21.787. And Jason Berg, of course, your points leader this season, and most winning driver with, I believe, 5 wins to his credit.
Yes, sir. And speaking of Jason Berg, bring you over to our point standings, and with 2 races to go after tonight, he's about running away with it here. 177 points to his credit here, and Sean Brightsman, the winner of that B main, just behind him, second, 114 points back. So it's going to take most likely another bad race for for Jason Berg for Sean to be able to catch up. We've only really seen one race though that Jason has kind of had a bad one, and Sean was able to catch up, but he's going to need him to either have a bad one here tonight or at South Boston next week, or possibly our last race at New Smyrna to have an issue. But 114 back is Sean Brightsman in second, James Paulson in third, 161 points back, Seth Fraser in fourth, 184 back, Bart Hector Jr. in fifth, 194 back, BJ Tidrick in sixth, 218 points back. And then you have a tie for seventh with Travis McKinney and Matt Hackthorne. Matt not in the race tonight, I don't believe. 231 points back, both of those guys. And you have Garrett Huffines in ninth. He has not been able to catch a break lately with his internet issues. 243 back. I believe he was able to make the full distance last week and was able to get a top 3 out of it. So, and then you have Scott Mann in 10th, 249 points back. So 3 races to go, 2 after tonight. We're getting very close to being able to call Jason Berg your champion for this season.
And of course, Berg in the field right now, the only multi-time winner actually racing tonight. We saw Kyle Larr get the win at Iowa and Stafford, not in the field tonight. So I think the odds are pretty high for that happening. But of course, Jason Berg, not much you can say other than he's had a dominating season, really just kind of showing everybody that he is not here to play, he's here to just go out and win.
And I think he made a comment at some point about us not really wanting to talk about him that much. And, well, I mean, it's hard not to talk about him when you're that dominant, that quick, and that up at the front that often. So these guys only going to have a couple chances left to chase him down, but it's looking like it's coming close.
Absolutely, and yeah, it is very hard to talk about somebody who wins so much, and even on a bad day really can pop off a top 3 just like nothing. But either way, we do have 3 minutes left until we're going to start this race. Just getting some final practice in for these cars, and one thing we have seen all weekend long, Justin, is these cars not very stable in the rear. They're set up a little bit loose for some of these drivers. We saw in the B main some drivers spin out. We're able to talk to some of the drivers afterwards. Some saying it's loose, some saying it's pretty okay, but it looks from up here in the booth that some of these cars are pretty loose.
Yes, sir, and with how hard these guys are going to race here tonight in the A main, I have a feeling, saw it once at least in that B main, corners 2 and 4 of the exits. We've kind of seen it at a few other tracks here this season, but those corners in particular coming off it, I think we're going to see most of our yellows here tonight, with guys either getting loose off the corner or possibly losing some momentum and other guys not being able to check up. Both times we've seen that here tonight already. And with a little bit of time left, Cameron, you mentioned it in the B main, just kind of want to reiterate tonight's sponsor, pitstopusa.com, the deal they're going to have going on for these next 3 races to finish out the season. First place here tonight will receive a $25 gift card or a gift certificate to pitstopusa.com. Second place will receive a $20 gift certificate, and third place will receive a $15 gift certificate. And then 2 other drivers will be receiving a $20 gift certificate. A hard charger award will be given out to the driver who gains the most spots from qualifying, or the most spots from their qualifying position, as long as they're not in the top 3, and as well as 1 random driver will be given a $20 gift certificate just for showing up tonight and being able to make the A main. So 5 drivers going to be receiving some money here tonight. A great promotion from our new sponsor at pitstopusa.com, and we thank them for both that promotion and for sponsoring tonight's event here at the Lucas Oil Raceway.
Very cool to see that. Of course, always the stakes a little bit higher when you got some money and prizes involved, but you know, we've seen in the B main so far that pushing and shoving not out of the question, and of course that comes even more prevalent, when add some prizes in the mix. But we should see some good racing tonight. This track, you know, as a driver, this track very frustrating to drive on, just because it's a little bit hard to pass. But you know, to watch races on, it can be really exciting, just because when you get drivers frustrated, that's where you usually see some action taking place.
Absolutely. And before I forget, do want to give a shout out as well to Joe's Racing Products, been the title sponsor all season, and of course the title sponsor here tonight. We thank them for their sponsorship as well. But yeah, you mentioned, as it seems like the flat tracks the most are where you're going to see, or where we see the most aggressive racing, just really because there's really no opportunities to pass. You're either up at that middle groove or at the wall, and go anywhere else, and you really can't get enough momentum off the corner to go anywhere with that momentum. So tonight, and especially with how, you know, small the corners are and the front and back straightaway, tonight I think especially is going to be interesting for guys to try and pass and really just try and get around each other. And really didn't see a whole lot in that B main of passing as session has advanced. So we're going to be taking it to the grid here now. 24 drivers going to grid up here, and we'll go through our starting grid here tonight. It's going to be Andrew Richardson with the pole, with the invert from qualifying, so he will take the top spot here tonight. Daryl Tidrick will start next to him in second. Daryl Tidrick will round out your front row.
We have Casey Dillman starting in third, and to his outside, BJ Tidrick.
Devin Petty going to start in the 5th position here tonight. Christopher Heim will start next to him in the 6th spot.
7th, we have Travis McKinney, and 8th, Seth Fraser in the O2 machine.
Donovan Barr will start in the 9th position, and Scott Mann will round out your top 10 here tonight, also 10th in points.
In 11th, we have Shane Quinn, and the number 1 machine up here at Sisk to his outside.
Mathew Kingsbury will start in 13th here tonight. Bart Hector Jr. will start 14th.
Jason Berg, fastest in practice, starting in 15th, and Brad Morrison, fastest in qualifying, starting in 16th.
Sean Bryceman will start in the 17th position, obviously the B main winner. These are the guys advancing. Andy Fuller finished second in that B main, will start 18th.
Starting 19th, we have the 80 of James Wilson, and to his outside, the number 7 of Dylan Huffines.
Daniel Masters will start in the 21st position, and Ted Shan will start 22nd.
And the last row, the number 47 of Josh Robinson and the number 52 of Brian Lambert. And of course, those 2 drivers, the 2 that got together at the end of the B main, so both receiving a provisional based on points regardless. So good to see them in this race. But Justin, we have 125 laps here tonight, and I gotta imagine it's going to be a pretty good showing for these drivers.
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be a relatively short race here tonight with how quickly these guys click off lap times. 125 laps go by pretty quickly, and that's going to leave a lot of time for guys to kind of have opportunities to get together, I'm sure, create a little bit of fireworks, and just as we mentioned all night, we're going to keep mentioning it, not a lot of opportunities to pass. Going to make for some great racing and some great action here on track. Pace car is off, and green flag is out, and Andrew Richardson is off.
And both cars on the front row get a good restart. The 45 of Daryl Tidricks kind of held on with him well into turn 1, but not going to be able to hold on, move in a 79, about 2 car lengths ahead of the 45 going into turn 3.
Top 4 singled out already. 5th there, on back really. Side by side, still trying to negotiate where everybody's supposed to be in line. The 12 gets in line, and into the wall there a little bit back there in 6th.
That's going to be a story all night tonight. Just the way you've got to run this track. Looks like the 92 got in the wall a little bit off too. But I'm going to see drivers get in the wall just because of the way you have to run this track. There's more banking up near that wall, so that's where you want to run, but sometimes you can't. But either way, first side-by-side battle here with 48 of Travis McKinney. Ooh, got some contact a little bit.
He's going to take that spot after getting a little bit loose off the corner. And we haven't really mentioned it, but only 12 degrees of banking at this track, and that's really not a lot. You can already see how flat it is, really. Not a whole lot of banking for these guys to work with.
Yeah, one thing it's not really talked about much, but if you run a line where you skirt those progressively banked levels of track, it kind of can upset your car. How loose these cars are tonight, really, that might be some issues. Or might lead to some issues here.
Yeah, he's already single file. The 12 looked like he was up into the wall once again. The 12 of Devin Petty, if not in it, was pretty close to it. And you want to run high, but I don't think you want to go all the way up there here tonight. At least that's what we saw in the B-main.
One thing we did see. There was the 98 of Matt Kingsbury get a little bit loose off 4, but we did see the line move a little bit down as the race went on in the B main. So we'll have to see if that happens tonight. We did talk that, that might be a case of the track just getting hot up there, but it's going to be interesting to see how the track progresses, the track state progresses throughout the race.
We got a battle up towards the front. The 72 of BJ Tidricks has caught the 92 of Casey Tillman. That's the battle for 3rd. Really got a good run down the front straightaway and was able to take advantage in 1 and 2. Going to lose some momentum, it looks like, through 3 and 4. And now here comes the 02 of Seth Fraser to the outside.
Yeah, and that's another thing we'll have to look for tonight. If you have enough willpower to make that move on the bottom, really, you might end up losing spots because the 12 in the wall pretty hard there off 2. I think that will hurt the car too much, but if you do make that move off onto the bottom line, really you can lose. Yeah, the 12 is all out of shape there off 4.
That car is not happy. Already been in the wall a few times here tonight and in it once again, just to kiss that time, but are definitely not handling how he would like and got into it really hard there off 2. Oh, and there goes the 9 around Donovan Barr. Oh, and Andy Fuller going to be involved as well as Dylan Huffines.
Yeah, all these cars scattering all over the place. We saw that Sean Breitzman just barely make it through on the outside.
Our points leader, Jason Berg, might have been involved. We're going to take a look. Yeah, checked up and couldn't go anywhere after that. And 21 was involved, but only a little bit of damage. The left side's kind of tore up. I don't think it'll be too much of a factor, though. But both sides on the front were tore up. Taking a look on board with the 9. And, I mean, couldn't really do anything there in Matt Kingsbury's shoes.
Yeah, that's just a product of a track like this. When you have everybody running up next to the wall and one of the drivers at the front gets into it, and really get that stack-up effect. But And we do have Berg and Wrightsman both on pit road. I would assume fixing up their damage. Both have a little bit, actually a lot of bit, damage on the front end, but Wrightsman is away. And the car looks pretty good now, so those crew members doing a good job to fix that car up.
Berg was doing a good job on slowly working his way through the field tonight. With 11 laps or 10 laps complete, he's gonna basically lose all that work that he had put in. Back to 23rd now. Dylan Huffines just behind in 24th.
And really, that's just a situation you can be put in when there's an invert like this. Of course, you might have some slower cars at the front, faster cars at the back, and really you can get yourself in a position, but it sure is heck fun to watch from the spectator standpoint.
And the thing is with Jason Berg, I cannot confirm, I guess I could, but I believe that he, as usual, took an EOL at the beginning of the race. I'm going to go back and take a look at where they gridded, but I'm pretty sure when they were rolling off pit road, I saw him stay on pit road until everybody went by.
But we are 12 laps into this event, actually 13 I believe, and already some fireworks happening both outside the track and on the track, so it's like we are doubled up for the restart, getting ready to go back here again, and I think we're seeing exactly what we thought we were going to see, Justin.
Yes, sir, and can confirm that Berg did start at the back, staying on pit road till everybody went by, so he'll have to do that once again, but pace car is off. And we're going to try it once again. Man, leaders neck to neck there. Got pretty close. And there goes the 79 of Andrew Richardson off and green flag back out.
Yeah, we saw Tidricks holding him really tight on the restart, but Richardson very quick on the gas pedal, getting through turn 1 and 2. He is gapping the field a little bit by about 3 car lengths. And we have some cars in the wall in the back, have some cars duck out of the way, but it looks like we are still going to be on green here. I think the car was the Seth Fraser machine.
Just saw that 47 of Josh Robinson really drive it into the corner. The first time I've seen it all night, where he starts at the bottom and just really tries to drive it in and just goes up towards the wall. I'm sure that's not going to be the last time we're going to see that here tonight.
The 12 machine of Devin Petty, I saw him get in the wall a little bit, so he not enjoying the wall tonight. Actually gets in the wall again and almost bounces back into the one of Garrett Sisk. Yeah, he's in the wall again. Just really struggling with the handling of that car right now. And you gotta imagine if you get in the wall a little bit, it's just gonna get worse. The car's gonna get a little bit tighter and just stop turning for you. But he's under fire from the 80 of James Paulson. I'm definitely not liking how that car is driving tonight so far.
Just ahead of him, the 48 of Travis McKinney in the wall just a bit there.
And just behind him, the 47 Josh Robinson got in the wall. So looks like we're all in the wall tonight. You get in the wall, you get in the wall like a Oprah Winfrey, but we're still green and these guys still getting at it.
Like Darlington, you're going to get your stripe eventually, and sometimes you just can't keep it out of the wall.
You're very right about that.
In the wall.
Not much at the front so far. 79 of Richardson, about half a second lead on the 45 of Daryl Tidrick, but he is under fire from the 2 of Seth Fraser. And one thing we did talk about all night in the B-main was just so hard to pass here. So it's going to be interesting seeing how these guys can make moves happen when this track is just... we've got the 90 car of Scott Mann loose off too. He's going to lose the spot to the 48 of Travis McKinney.
There was a lot happening there. You saw the 90 of Scott Mann about lose it, but at the same time, the 72 just behind of BJ Tidrick really drove it into the corner and almost got into the rear end of the 46 or 48 of Travis McKinney. But the hardest I'd seen anybody drive it into the corner there.
Yeah, I think what I was saying before that happened, just so hard to pass here, and it's really going to take a mistake on part of the car in front of you to get that move made. We do have Jason Berg a little bit back making a move on the 29 of Shane Quinn. Not going to be able to make it stick though. That car is still a little bit damaged on the left front, but I can't imagine it's hurting him too much. We've definitely seen worse damaged cars do well here. And of course, we've seen him do well all season, so I think he'll be just all right.
I'd say so. Worked his way up from 17th so far from the 23rd position, and well, there's some contact between the 1 and the 72.
Yeah, we've seen those cars kind of get into each other a little bit a few times so far in this race, so I can't imagine they'll be too happy with each other. But either way, we're still green. Still going at it here, but definitely, this race looking kind of single file here. As I say that, battle for second. The 02 of Seth Fraser on the outside of Daryl Tidrick. It looks like, I think Daryl Tidrick actually got in the wall a little bit, so that's probably why the 02 was able to get by him. And the 92 of Casey Tillman gonna follow his way through. Actually not, because the 45 gets a good run off to number 4.
Able to shut that door for the time being. He's gonna come back, the 92 of Casey Tillman, that is. And he's still going to be fighting on that outside, and Daryl Tidrick going the wrong way here at the moment. It's kind of like Martinsville, a reverse Martinsville, if you will. If you're not on that higher line, you can kind of just ball towards the back. Going to try and find an open door there, and 48 will not let him in.
And really, this is a test of patience. If you're the 45 of Daryl Tidrick, you can run your car hard and try to get, try to keep those cars on the outside from passing you, but really you just need to kind of let it happen and get back in line so you don't use up your tires too much, because I think he's going to lose these spots and probably lose the spot to the 90 of Scott Mann too, because there's not much grip on that bottom side so far.
Well, there was a decently sized hole just behind the 90 of Scott Mann. It looks like he'll actually get in front of Scott there, so he'll cycle into the 5th position at the moment. Got a chance to fight back.
Saw him kind of driving into the corner really hard. Probably just a little bit frustrated, but finally got back in line, so really not too bad. He's only back to 5th.
Definitely could have been a lot worse for that 45.
See the 98 of Kingsbury and the 3 of Darrell Masters here battling. That's for 17th place. These cars not really able to make too many. Daniel Masters. These cars not able to make too many spots up so far. So our best battles are quite far in the back here.
13 of Ted Sham. I don't believe he got the wall, but I think he lost enough momentum to the point where it almost looked like he hit the wall, and he's going to lose quite a bit of positions here.
Yeah, and really there's not much you can do in that spot. If you just kind of get, really, we say this is a highline bias track, but I think he's so close to the wall that it looks like he's hitting it, but he's just losing the moment off. Yeah.
I was going to say, you're talking about a highline dominated track. He about rim rided it up there, and I thought he was going to get a few positions out of it.
Yeah, he's so high that he's like saying hi to the fans on the outside, probably buying some beers and hot dogs, but able to get that car. As we say that, he's in the middle of the track and got that car sorted under him. I think he was just overdriving it just a little bit, kind of noticed that, and maybe I need to not be so close to the wall, but everything is good for him so far.
I am looking forward, if we get it here tonight, to someone riding up, really like he was, up at that wall, but getting a few positions. That'll be probably the most exciting part of tonight. Oh, and a wreck down the front straightaway. The 45 of Daryl Tidrick caught the 72 of BJ Tidrick, and it looked like there was another car involved in there. Didn't quite get a number.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but that was somebody definitely got hooked, and that could have been a lot worse than it was.
45 of Daryl Tidrick looked like he either got loose or got hit by the 90 of Scott Mann. Those two were running 5th and 6th, and unfortunately nowhere for BJ Tidrick to go. What's the story going to be here? Nope, just loose off the corner. Okay, yeah, both off the corner, and unfortunately couldn't get away from each other there.
Yeah, Justin, that's where we've seen really all the problems tonight. Off turn number 4, looks like that's the calamity corner, so to say. And we saw a couple cars get loose off there, and right there, it's kind of what happens when you have 2 get loose. And that's a really weird wreck, but it definitely could have been a lot worse than it was.
Well, that's Cameron, that's a part of the racetrack where you're hard on the gas, trying to get all your momentum off the corner, and it can be so easy at times with both tires wearing and getting hot, where just on the gas and the rear end slips out from under you.
Yeah,
man.
12 took a hard hit there. Actually got up on 2 wheels for a split second. So, you know, he's had a meeting with the wall a few times tonight, and that meeting with the wall is probably going to be the killer for him.
On board with, I believe, the 80 of James Paulson. Well, 32 or 33 now, laps complete here tonight, so we're clicking them off there. Unfortunately, got our first big one of the night. Claimed our 5th, 6th place drivers. Got the 12 of Devin Petty as well. He's still on pit road, a lap down, unfortunately. Or just coming down pit road now, I should think.
And one thing I did notice is the 79 Andrew Richardson, of course, your 16th place qualifier, starting on the pole due to the invert, but he was kind of gapping the field a little bit. Had about a 1.2 second lead at the time of the caution, so definitely showing he's got the speed and race trim tonight. And you know, maybe that just means track position is so important there, but you know, we'll see if we can keep it up there.
Funny as the lights are out on the pace car. We kind of made the joke before when we had our twin A events where whoever started on pole there would really lead them all and win the race, and that's kind of what we're seeing here tonight so far. And I think you're right, Cameron. That's kind of what it came down to, or that's what it's coming down to at this point. Track position, I'd have to believe.
But pace car is off, field in the hands of Andrew Richardson and Seth Fraser to his outside. And Richardson really hard on the gas there, and he's going to actually clear Fraser as he goes into turn 1. Getting good restarts all night on that bottom line.
And he got the wall just a bit.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to hurt him too much. But the 0-2 of Seth Fraser right on his rear bumper now.
Yeah, that was a pretty good lick to the wall, but he should be fine as long as he doesn't let the 0-2 get to his outside and he closes the door there. Looks like he just kind of drove it in and...
Man, oh, he's going to get a loose down the straightaway. He's going to save it, but he's going to lose the lead to Seth Fraser, and now going to be stuck on that bottom side. Travis McKinney going to hang the nose out there, try and get by as well.
Yeah, we got battles all over the track right now.
Taking a look at the replay.
Turn 4 again, Justin bites another one.
Really, no surprise. No surprise there as see him. Oh, someone's around. Caution is out. Oh, and a big wreck there. The 29 involved, the 3 of Daniel Masters, 16 of Andy Fuller involved as well.
Yeah, let's see what happened
Shane
there.
Quinn.
There's a lot of damage on that car right there.
Take a look. Where it all started. 46 is Sean Brightsman. I think there was a checkup ahead of him with the 98 of Matt Kingsbury. Something happened there, and unfortunately I don't think Sean quite saw that.
And saw the 29 there take a bunch of big hits. Actually kind of hopped around on the safer barrier just a little bit, so that car's gonna be a little bit hurt. Of course, our gyro cam going a little bit crazy there, but always cool to see.
Well, takes a few others in the second wreck of the night. That was a hard hit.
And Brightsman given EOL for that incident, so race control judging him to be at fault for it. And, you know, just kind of got in the... I don't know if he was expecting that checkup to happen in front of him, but either way, he was.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know quite either if he expected the 29 to enter the corner there. It seemed like he kind of came down, and I'm sure Brightsman was just kind of... He saw that big pack ahead of him, and he was expecting to get to the bottom, at least, of the 29 of Shane Quinn, and just not quite sure he expected.
Yeah, I saw a bit of netcode there, too, so really just kind of something you got to do with an iRacing, and unfortunately, kind of see what happens there. But throughout that sequence of events, excuse me, English is hard and words are fake.
Indeed.
Seth Fraser did take the lead after the 79 of Richardson got a little bit loose off 4, and Travis McKinney, your new second place driver.
We had just kind of talked about it, how, the leader of the race kind of went on to lead them all, but that's not going to be the case here tonight. But track position is so important that one mistake we already saw can make you fall back, but you have to be smooth and steady to be able to keep that lead. And the 79 of Andrew Richardson, just the slightest of bobbles, and lost 2 positions because of it.
Yeah, I'm looking through the field. A lot of really fast cars here tonight are damaged pretty heavily. Of course, Jason Berg in that first accident. The winner of the A main, Sean Brightsman, has quite a bit of damage on his front end. Brad Morrison, the fastest qualifier tonight, looks like he's missing some of his fenders. So, already only 40 laps in this race, we've seen some of the heavy hitters have some issues.
Well, how about 21 of Jason Berg? A few cautions to help him, up to 9th inside the top 10 at the moment. So we just had a few cautions and a few other drivers getting, unfortunately, involved has let him make his move through the field and inside the top 10, and really no surprise to see him up here.
Not at all, and there's a reason he has as many wins in the season as he does, because even when he's got some damage or some bad luck, he always finds a way to get back to the front, but pace car lights are off. It's like a single file restart this time. Interesting choice by race control. But either way, that's what we have.
Probably weren't liking what they were seeing with the double file restarts, so not a real surprise seeing them single file. They've done it most of the season, so it'll be Seth Fraser with an easy restart this time. He's on the gas. Green flag back out.
Kind of cutting on the bottom side of the track to get that run through 3 and 4, but here comes the 48. That's Travis McKinney. He's going to drive it very hard into turn 1, but not get the run off. Seth Fraser gets a pretty good run through 1 and 2. Andrew Richardson probably wants to make up for his mistake earlier, and actually these cars are very close to 3 and 4. Travis McKinney and Seth Fraser going at it pretty hard here.
We have our first battle of the night for the lead. And man, he really ate him up through the middle of 1 and 2 there.
And now the number 1 of Garrett Sisk, been there all night in top 5. It's on the track somewhere.
The 47 of Josh Robinson around on the back straightaway just before turn 3. Get it going again. We'll take a look at what happened to bring up this caution.
98 of Matt Kingsbury there. Looks like there was some contact on that left rear corner, and around he goes. Pretty hard lick on that inside wall, Justin.
Yes, sir. And that's not the first time we've seen an incident like that. Just kind of, it's so easy to do too. Just coming off the corner, it's so easy to slide up and make contact should there be a car on the top of you.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of really saw the same thing with him and the B main. That's kind of where the accident happened between him and the 52. So don't think he's going to like that area of the track too much. But we will give you guys the top 5 real quick before we go off to break for real quick. Your leader, Seth Fraser. Second place, Travis McKinney. Third place, Andrew Richardson. Garrett Sisk in 4th. And Casey Tillman rounds out your top 5. We'll be right back after these messages.
Pit Stop USA is the online motorsports superstore. Pit Stop USA has over 100,000 products from over 600 of the top brands in racing. From sprint cars to street stocks, late models to modifieds, racers everywhere have trusted Pit Stop USA for over 17 years. Racers nationwide trust the experts at Pit Stop USA for keeping them safe, and we carry the largest selection of driver safety equipment on the planet. Whether you're looking for a new helmet, a racing suit, driving shoes, or the latest in head and neck restraints, Pit Stop USA has the safety equipment to keep you safe from head to toe. Pit Stop USA is the online motorsports superstore. Visit us today at pitstopusa.com.
And we welcome you back to the iRacing Northwest Tour presented by Joe's Racing Products, the pitstopusa.com 125 here tonight at the Lucas Oil Raceway. 50 laps complete. 49 laps complete on lap 50 as we have the one to go here. About to get back under racing here at the Lucas Oil Raceway.
Yeah, and we've seen some fireworks so far, some incidents on track, and good racing for the lead, and really kind of what we thought we were going to see earlier on, but definitely playing out to be quite a barn burner of a race.
There, so Seth Fraser, your leader, going to lead him off here once again. He's off on it. Green flag back out, and not quite as good of a restart that time for Travis McKinney. He's got the 79 of Andrew Richardson on his bumper. I'm sure a little closer than he would like, but man, the top three have really pulled away from the rest of that pack.
Yeah, we see the one of Garrett Sisk way on the bottom of the track, not going to get the great run off. He was on the inside, he was on the yellow line. Actually going to have some contact there. It's like the A2 of Bart Hector Jr. Really close off turn number 4, but actually no contact, excuse me. There's no contact there. I thought there was, they were just close. And right there, the 21 of Jason Berg right behind them. Had some issues earlier on this race, but as we have seen all season long, never ever count him out unless that car is absolutely dead.
Really drove it in that last time through 3 and was able to get to the bumper, and he's going to do it once again in turns 1, trying to get past the 9 of Donovan Barr. Donovan went for a spin earlier in the race, and looks like he's somewhat recovered there at 9th.
Yeah, it was a great pass by Berg, no surprise there, but he just kind of drove it in there and made the move stick. I think that's really one of the few times we've seen the bottom side work like that tonight, and no surprise that's with the 21 car, but move him up to position number 8, excuse me.
Sisk and Hector Jr. still going at it. Sisk able to get to that higher line. See if he can get a run on Bart down the front straightaway. Looks like it'll be about even.
Up here towards the front there, we have the O2 of Fraser, McKinney, and Richardson all pretty close to each other. You could throw a blanket over these 3 cars. Of course, these 3 cars been up here all night for the most part. That 79 led the most laps so far. Had a little bit of an issue that lost him the lead, but definitely showing that inverted field not playing to his disadvantage, showing a lot of speed here tonight.
I mean, we said top 3 have just really pulled away from at least 4th place Casey Tillman. About a second over that 4th place car, and should those guys get racing, I'm sure it'll bring everybody back into it.
Yeah, Casey Tillman actually hit a bit of a no man's land for himself. He's got a lot of space behind him and a lot of space in front of him, so probably wishing that those 3 in front of him would start racing so we can catch them, but either way, we do have some racing behind him. Jason Berg looking on the bottom side of Garrett Sisk actually caught this pack pretty quickly here.
Hector Jr. and Paulson going at it pretty good. Just a lap to go, off 2. And here's the battle for the lead. McKinney going to try and get to the underside, but cannot do it on Seth Fraser. They're going to be side by side off the corner. Fraser with the advantage, and thankfully for McKinney, he was able to find a hole just in between 1st and 3rd.
Yeah, and you already see that 92 of Casey Tillman caught them a little bit as they went side by side, but got back in line again, and gonna just see if gotta wait for those mistakes to happen. So, ooh, 0-2 in the wall a little bit there. But if you're the 48, you just kind of gotta wait for that mistake to happen, and sometimes it's frustrating to do that, and you don't want to, but if you try to make that move on the bottom side, you're at risk of losing 3rd place to the 79 behind you.
Gonna try once again, and I feel like if that 0-2 had been up at the wall, McKinney would have been all over it on that bottom side. But he's about as close as been all night so far. And the 79 all over the rear bumper of that 48 now just behind.
Yeah, and that 0-2 is getting so close to the wall, you can put a piece of paper in between his body and the wall. He's actually throwing a lot of sparks off the corner pretty much every time.
But again,
So literally using all of the track he can.
Those three have kind of settled down for the time being, but that really allowed the fourth place driver of Casey Tillman to really catch up. Now you can kind of visibly see how much he's caught them back there in that fourth spot.
And even that second pack of Paulson, Hector, Sisk, and Berg have caught the lead group just a little bit, ever so slightly, but we're a single file for them too. So really, we're single file throughout most of the field, I believe. No real battles to speak of. But you can tell that 48 of Travis McKinney is a little bit quicker, I would have to assume. He's ducking his nose out every once and again, but just can't find the grip and the track position to make that move happen.
Trying to get a nose in there. Maybe if you get your nose in there, you can get side by side, but it's interesting to see Seth Fraser where he goes in 3. I feel like this is exactly where Travis McKinney wants to go and wants to try and get in deep and at least get side by side with them.
Yeah, and these 4 behind them also racing pretty hard. Bart Hector actually looking to the bottom of that's James Paulson in the 80 car. Just could not make the move. He's running very low on the track, almost near that yellow line on the bottom, but just not able to get the run off, and just looks to be very frustrating for these drivers not to be able to make moves out here, but of course that's the nature of this track. Actually, 21 almost got into one of Sisk there, but all good for the time being.
I really think, Cameron, that you can try as hard as you want on that bottom side. It's just not going to produce anything here tonight. You can see off exit as he gets a little loose, Hector does. But you can try all you want on that bottom side. I just don't think you're ever going to get that working here tonight.
And we see the one of Sisk right on the back spoiler of that 82, but just not able to make a move. And really, I don't know what the drivers think at this stage of the race, but just got to find another way to do that. One a little bit loose, and the caution I think out for something else, but that one sideways in turn number 2 there, or 1, excuse me.
Yeah, I think something happened towards the back of the field. It seemed like everybody was scattering on the front stretch. Take a look at it here. There's the bump. I'll take another look, but I don't think that being that sideways would bring up the caution. Nope, it was with the 45 of Daryl Tidrick towards the back of the pack, and the 29 of Shane Quinn is what brought out the caution in turn 4.
Yeah, that makes a little more sense. I didn't think his car just getting sideways would be enough to throw the yellow out, but
pretty close there, and the 45 and the 29 make some contact, and a simple spin, but that much on the racetrack makes a little bit more sense on why we were under caution.
Yeah, and interesting enough, Jason Berg also given an EOL by race control, so not the cause of the caution, but still going to the back of the field.
Very interesting. Well, that's going to be the 3rd time here tonight that Jason Berg is going to have to go to the back. And let's see if we can't get a word in with our leader at the moment, Seth Fraser.
Hello.
Seth Fraser, 3YTV, you got a copy?
Yep.
Alright, well, running up front at the moment, kind of stole it from that 79 of Andrew Richardson, and you haven't looked back since. Seems like the 48's been trying to make a move, though.
Yeah, I think McKinney might be a little bit faster, but I don't know the way their racing groove is right now. I think it's going to be hard to execute a pass on the bottom, so we'll see what happens.
I mean, we've seen it really all night. Everybody trying to make passes, and you just kind of mentioned it there. It just seems all but impossible to make a pass without the driver in front making a mistake.
Yeah, it's hard to maintain the grip, especially off of 4, off of 2, some 2 on the bottom. It's really hard to maintain the grip forward drive off the corner.
All right, well, we wish you the best of luck for this second half of the race.
All right, thanks, guys.
Your leader, Seth Fraser. Whole another half of the race to get this thing done, but mentioned the 48 of Travis McKinney. Thinks he's a little bit faster, but Cameron, we've talked about it every chance it seems like we can get so far here tonight. It's passing a real pain in the butt here tonight.
Yeah, this track seems like being faster doesn't really mean much. You just got to find a way to get around the car in front of you. Really hard to do, but of course, that's why they're driving and we're up here talking, because I'd rather be up here talking than actually doing it myself, really.
And I think that I thought we were getting double file restart, but I think that we're about past the second part of the race, or the first part of the race. I think towards the second part, these guys aren't going to be as nice about not being able to get around as they are now. I think we'll start to see them use that bumper a little more.
Yeah, absolutely not. You got to think these drivers are all frustrated. They know it's hard to pass, and they're going to want to get those passes done as we get closer to the end of this race. But either way, pace car is off. We are single file. Field in the hands of Seth Fraser, and he's on the gas. Green flag out, and he gets a great restart on that 48 of Travis McKinney, of course. But he's going to drive it hard into turn number 1 there, but not get the run off.
That's really what we've seen from McKinney all night. Really drives it into the corner, but suffers a little bit on exit. But what this caution has also done is brought everybody really back into this main group.
And single file for the top 10 spots. First battle for position looks to be the 72 of Tidrick and 1 of Garrett Sisk. Of course, we've seen those two drivers battling pretty much all night tonight. And going to want to get Sisk, of course, on that bottom line, just not really able to do anything yet, but really close there off 4.
Oh, the 13 of Ted Sheehan into the wall on the front straightaway. Like he'll keep it going.
And he's still on the bottom of the track, not really able to get his car up to speed, and actually he does, so good to see the caution not brought up for that incident.
And once again, that's not the first time we've seen that here tonight. It hits the brakes hard to try and avoid that wall, but could not do it. Didn't get it back to the right, but not a whole lot of damage for that 13, but hasn't had the night that he would like. Ted Sheehan in that 13.
And here we see Brightsman and Fuller actually battling for, I think that's 12th place on track. And Brightsman actually going to take the spot. And yes, he does. A little bit of damage on that car. Your B-main winner. Here we have a battle for second place. It's a 79 of Andrew Richardson, of course, your pole sitter and leader of the race for the most part so far. Lost the lead, but he's trying to get those spots back.
Able to do it in 3 and 4. See what he can do in 1 and 2. We're going to get pretty close there. He slides up the racetrack. And those two getting side by side allows the 0-2 of Seth Fraser to pull away a little bit and allows Casey Tillman to catch up.
Yeah, Fraser's going to love seeing that in his mirror. Of course, Richardson not able to do anything yet. Of course, we've seen that all night. That bottom side just not coming in like these drivers probably would want. The 80 got in the wall a little bit, or just very close to Paulson in that machine. But yeah, we have kind of a train back here behind the leader, about a 1 second or so gap from first to second.
Well, Seth Fraser takes the line there. It's 5 laps past halfway. And I think, like we said before, the second part of the race, the guy's going to be a little less forgiving about the lack of being able to pass, as the 79 of Andrew Richardson tries once again through 3 and 4, but that bottom line just not giving him the momentum that he would like.
Absolutely, and really, you got to think if this continues on, like you said, these guys are not going to be playing nice with each other, and see what happens with that.
79 has to fall back in line once again. Just gotta wonder what it's gonna take. Besides a a bumper being applied to be able to try and make a pass here tonight, as it's really been a struggle for everybody. He's going to try it once again. Richardson won't be able to pull anything off. Just behind the 80 of Paulson and the 82 of Bart Hector Jr. doing battle, and thought they were about to swap positions, but Paulson going to fight back.
Yeah, we had a battle for sixth place. Hector and Paulson. That's our first side-by-side battle, and that's really all you can do. Just get on the outside of the car you're trying to pass, and I think that, yeah, bottom line, not really there at all tonight. But Bart actually holding very strong in that bottom side, more than we've seen most drivers. Not able to, or not willing to give up that spot just yet. Driving it very deep into the corner, but I think he's going to lose it right here off number 2, and should give. Excuse me, that was not a battle for. That was a battle for 5th, and Paulson had it, but it was under fire from Hector. But give it back to James Paulson.
Oh, and the 9!
Contact.
9 of Donovan Barr. He just. It almost looked like he just lost it on the straightaway. And the wreck actually happened behind with BJ Tidrick.
The car upside down, yeah, that was a pretty brutal hit right there.
Wow.
Side over side barrel rolls at Lucas Oil Raceway. Not something you hear or see of very often, but there it is. Not sure exactly what happened. See it on the replay here. Looks like he just got, yeah, the one of Garrett's disc got tight under him.
Wow.
And just hit the wall. And our gyro cam working overtime in that wreck. But interesting enough, he's still going. So even taking a tumble like that cannot kill that race car, and good to see that he's still able to drive the way.
I'd like to see too what happened with that 9 of Donovan Barr. That was just a bit ahead of this incident. It's just yeah, a bit ahead of this incident. Sure if it was loose off the corner. Yep, it was, and took a whole straightaway to try and catch up. And man, he almost hit that inside wall.
Yeah,
that would have
both
been
of
disastrous.
both of those drivers got really lucky there that they didn't hit the wall, and they didn't come back up into traffic, because that could have been huge. But like you just said, just got loose, and you know these iRacing tires don't like to be doing that. They really just don't ever come back if they get loose. But either way, those two drivers are good. But BJ Tidrick a little bit worse off behind that, taking some barrel rolls, but either way, he's still driving, so good on him.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I guess if the motor's still running, you might as well keep it going. Just off pit road. Taking some more looks there with the 7 of Dylan Huffines.
And when we get going green here, we should have about 35 laps to go in the race. So you said, Justin, a little bit earlier back, it's definitely go time for these drivers, and if the moves are going to be made, they're going to have to be made quickly and probably a little bit aggressively.
We still have 20 cars on the lead lap. Still a lot of guys in contention here. Shane Quinn in 21st. He is your first car lap down. 2 laps down, excuse me. Daryl Tidrick in 22nd, 2 down as well. And then only 2 cars out of the race so far here tonight. Mathew Kingsbury and Devin Petty.
And your points leader, Jason Berg, who was involved in the caution before this, actually has made his way back up to the 11th spot.
And look who's
after
just ahead of
starting.
him.
Yeah, that's Sean Brightsman. That's second place in points right there. Probably wishes he was a little bit further ahead, and Berg was a little bit further behind, but either way, he is ahead of him, so, you know, take what you can, or take what you can, I guess.
Funny how that happens, Cameron, when first and second really can't get away from each other on track. And as you said, I'm sure it's a little frustrating for Sean doing all he can. Like it's Never get away from him, I'm sure.
Yeah, and you see both of those cars quite well used up. That Bridesman machine very beat up in the front, and Berg's car missing about most of its left front fender, so really not going to be able to take those cars to next week's race. They're quite well used up, but we are ready for this restart. Pace car is off. I did not even see that. And Seth Fraser on the gas pedal again, getting that great restart on the cutting on the inside line. See if the 48 of Travis McKinney can drive it into turn 1 and make something happen like he's been doing all night. He will, but not going to get the run off. So holding station up in front as we've seen. But Travis McKinney running a little bit of a different line, probably try to make something happen here. I don't think it's going to net much gain here.
That seemed to be one of the better restarts for McKinney. That time was pretty even. The guys jockeying around in the back, and now the battle for a second, I think, is about to heat up. Richardson about put the rear bumper to the 48 of McKinney, and it might be time to start loosening some guys up for position.
Yeah, you're very right about that, and actually 79 is looking on the bottom here. 48 got a little bit high off form. He's going to be able to keep the spot, and see the bumper here.
Oh, gonna get to the inside. 48 almost in the wall, and almost some contact there. I think there was a bit.
Yeah, definitely contact happening here.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
These guys definitely not playing nice anymore. We're probably going to see some cars spinning out pretty soon if they keep racing like this.
And I mean, I don't really blame him at this point.
Oh, there
man.
we go.
Puts the bumper a little bit.
McKinney's going to keep it straight, and he's probably not going to like that too much, but it is go time.
30 laps to go next time they get to the line, so kind of running out of patience at this point. He's to the inside, the 79 of Richardson is. What can he do in 1 and 2 on that bottom line? Light up a bit. Going to be even with him off the corner, and he will have the advantage. No, the 48 will down the back straightaway. Have the momentum and some contact in the corner. They're going to keep it straight, and now Richardson's going to take advantage of that, and he's going to take the second spot away.
Yeah, that was textbook right there.
Man.
He pretty much just booted him out of the way and said, "Thank you very much. I will take second place."
And, I mean, McKinney tried to give him a shot entering 1 to try and get back at him there, just kind of missed it.
Yeah, I think that 79 was just quicker anyway, and I think he's gonna pull away from 48. But really, I mean, you can say that was.
And not really surprising to see that either, given the amount of laps left to go.
No, and that's about a clean of a pass that you're going to see.
Oh, a contact behind Scott Mann around in the 90. Contact, I believe, with the 46 of Sean Breitzman.
Yeah, I think there was some contact in the left rear there. Yes, there was, definitely. So I'm going to have to assume that's going to mean the 46 is going to be sent to the back.
Well, it makes his night brilliant. I mean, at this point of the race, being sent to the back is basically a death sentence. You're not going to be able to get much more out of it.
But I
There's
do
contact.
believe that was the second.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. So
Yeah, it's the second incident involving the 46. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But that might mean that 46 is parked and he is on pit road right now. So that's not going to be what he wanted for his points situation whatsoever, and that probably would all but give it to Jason Berg.
Kramer, let's see if we can't catch up with our second place driver here. See if you can get inside the head of him.
All right, Travis McKinney, this is 3 Watt TV. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, we saw some moving out of the way there, per se, there from the 79. Tell us about that move.
Yeah, he got into the back of me and then got beside me. I knew I wasn't going to give up the high side because it's really hard to pass on the inside. But when he got in the inside of me, then kind of came up and little door slamming, and caution came out. I pulled up next to him, revved it up a couple times, let him know I wasn't real keen on the way he made the move, but that's racing, it's short tracking.
All right, well, you got about 25 laps to go here. Should have about 23 or so to go on the restart. So what's your plan to get past that 79 and potentially challenge for the lead?
I'm not sure. I've used up my right front quite a bit. I'm going to give her hell, but I'm going to try to hang on to a top 5. That's my goal for the night.
All right, man. Well, we'll let you get back to racing here. But looks like I think the pace car light should be going off here just in a moment. But anyway, good luck the rest of the race, and thank you very much for talking with us.
All right, enjoy the show, guys.
We absolutely will enjoy this show. That was your third place driver, Travis McKinney. And I think we're about to see a show here, Cameron. Lights should be off this time. Be a restart with about 22 laps to go.
Yeah, and we've seen some bumpers being used, and yes, to confirm what we said earlier, the 46 has been parked for the 2 incidents, so I think that all but gives the championship to Jason Berg, but nothing official as of yet. We're just speculating. Yeah.
Well, Jason has to keep his nose clean tonight, but I think if he can finish where he's at right now at 9th, he's looking to extend that points lead quite a bit, and I think it's going to be pretty hard for Seth Fraser to catch up after that.
Yeah, Jason, of course, having one incident to his name now, so he's got to keep his car clean, but got to imagine with the 46 out, he'll probably just, take it a little bit easier than he would. But yes, Justin, those pace car lights are out. We're about to be going green here pretty soon, and we see some more fireworks here.
Green flag is out. Seth Fraser was all over it, wanted no part of that 79 of Andrew Richardson, didn't even want to give him a chance. As they all get off clean, looks like our first battle back there with the 7 of Dylan Huffines and the 9 of Donovan Barr, almost some contact off the corner right in front of Jason Berg.
Yeah, Huffines actually going to lose that spot to the 21 of Berg, I believe, so that really hurt him off turn number 2. Move him back to that, it looks like the 10th spot. Excuse me, 9th. To the front here,
that battle.
Seth Fraser.
Yeah, just behind that 92 of Casey Tillman tried to get to the bumper. The 48 of Travis McKinney. It's got interesting.
Up here at the front, that 79 of Richardson has actually been tracking down the O2 a little bit. Of course, we saw him very fast early on this race. Only lost the lead because got a little bit loose off turn number 4, but we'll see if he can track down that leader and get back to where he was at. Actually started this race at.
That time by Richardson just a bit faster than Fraser, not by much.
Got a bit of a hornet's nest back here, about 6 cars. Ooh. Yeah.
Jason Berg just about clipped that 9 of Donovan Barr, and that probably would have been a race-ending incident there for Jason in terms of the incidents.
We were saying that he needs to keep that car clean, and
something happened with the 48 of McKinney. He was really loose off the corner. That allows Tillman to get underneath.
Still lose. That car is still a little bit wiggly in the middle of the corner, and he's going to lose that spot. I think probably not, actually.
They're side by side through 3 and 4. While that's happening, that 79 of Richardson has caught up quite a bit. Oh, and almost some more contact there with the 9 and 21. Entering turn 1 there. Battle for the lead kind of heating up, but this is your battle for 4th right there. Casey Tillman and Travis McKinney still going at it.
Yeah, I have to imagine these. We're going to see something here pretty soon. That 79 is really quick. Definitely tracked down the O2. I think he's probably the only car tonight that can beat Seth Fraser. But, we'd have some contact behind him.
92 and 48 at it, almost 3 wide. Yes, we are 3 wide down the back straightaway.
Yeah, it's not something you want to see here because that can always end in disaster, but these guys do sort it out pretty well. And Travis McKinney actually going to hold on to 3rd place after all that. Good racing here.
Side by side, 3 rows deep.
And right in the middle of that hornet's nest is the 21 of Jason Berg. Made a pretty good recovery from having some incidents tonight, and pretty solidly in the top 10 so far.
Just trying to maximize position that he's in. Oh, and there
Ooh, the
goes the
9.
9 of Donovan Barr. He's going to save it.
Second time we saw him do that tonight.
At this point, Berg just trying to get as many positions as he can, while his championship rival in the pits stunned for the night.
And back here at the front, 79 and the 02 still going at it, very close. Gotta imagine the bumpers are gonna be coming into play here pretty soon. Of course, we only have about 13 laps to go, so it is definitely go time. And 79, probably the quickest car here all night. Started at the front, and really was so quick before those issues, but definitely has a shot to redeem himself here.
And Cameron, you know, 13 laps kind of seems like a long time, but that can click off in quite a hurry. My timer showing me we only have about 4 minutes left in this race, so this race these laps can click by very quickly.
Yeah, and these two cats actually about 3 seconds ahead of the pack behind him, and the pack behind him actually really going at it pretty aggressively. Yeah, here he goes. Showing his nose on the inside, not gonna be able to make the move, but maybe he will. He's got a great run through turn number 2. See if he can do in here into turn number 3. Gonna slide up a little bit. Lost that momentum.
Try and fight back just a bit, but that could have been pretty interesting in 3 and 4. They were side by side down the back, and he's gonna try and get some more momentum. Almost to the back bumper, and he does. He gets him around. Then there's the caution. He's backing up into the track. That could have been almost disastrous for that 02 of Seth Fraser, and I'm sure he's not going to be too pleased about that one.
Absolutely not. And we were talking about that, Justin. The bumpers were going to be coming into play here pretty soon, and well,
man, oh my goodness,
that was pretty close there with that 02. I don't know what happened there, but he backed up in the traffic just a little bit, but everybody is good to go after that. And I gotta imagine the 79 is gonna be sent to the back for that one.
Yeah. Producer asking us who we want to talk to. I don't know if I want to talk to any of those drivers. Those two are probably both steaming mad at this point. One being most likely sent to the back at this point, and then one being forcefully sent to the back.
Yeah, either way, that does move the 48. Should move the 48 back up to the lead. We actually saw him get booted out of the way quite a bit ago, so he'll probably be happy to see what he saw in front of him. And talk to him a little bit.
Alright, we got Seth here. Let's see if we can talk to him. Seth Fraser, 3Y TV. Do you have a copy?
Yep.
Well, unfortunately got the boot around there. Anything you could have done there?
Not really. I was trying to gather it up and didn't really get a chance to, but that's just racing. It happens.
Alright, well, 8 laps to go. Sitting 14th, unfortunately, at the moment. Think you can get any more before the end of the night?
Just try to keep your nose clean, see what happens.
Alright, wish you the best of luck here. Alright, Cameron, see if you can't talk to Andrew.
Alright, Andrew, it's 3Y TV. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, we saw some contact there racing for the lead a little bit. Thought that the bumpers were going to be coming into play here at the end of the race, and tell us about that move you made.
I just a little quicker in the center, and I think Seth might have just waited a hair longer to get the gas, and I couldn't roll, but I couldn't get out of the gas quick enough to get. I turned him around here, new here, so I'm trying to figure out how this whole thing works. Feel bad for turning around like that.
All right, well, have you heard from race control what's going to happen regarding that incident yet?
We're still trying to figure it out right now. I'm having problems talking to the official. Trying to have one of my buddies talk through them for me.
All right, well, we'll let you get back to that. Good luck the rest of the race. Looks like we'll have about 3 or 4 laps to go on the restart. Thanks for talking with us.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Well, you've heard from both sides there. See what happens here before we get back going green. I'd have to imagine that 79 is most likely going to be sent to the back. If it does, it'll put Travis McKinney in a fantastic spot here with what's not going to be a whole lot of time left. What happens with the lights this time? They go out. So it will be a restart with 4 laps to go.
Interesting, they haven't made a decision.
And they
Actually,
delay
they threw
it.
the caution flag. I think they're going to send the 79 to the back right here. So, I was going to say, interesting, they haven't done anything regarding that incident yet, and we did have 1 to go, so that wasn't going to be good.
They have not made a call yet. They've just delayed the green. And, I mean, we're only going to have 3 laps of racing to go, so if you're going to do something, you're going to have to do it pretty quick here. I'm not really sure what they could be discussing here.
Yeah, it's interesting, but either way, we are not privy to that information, so we'll have to see what happens. I think... Yeah, they're definitely going to have to make a call here, because we are going to go back green, and I'm sure these fans want to see a green flag finish to end this race.
Had another driver exit the field here tonight. Scott Mann just disconnected, so he was running 18th. Possibly something happened to that car, but it looks like they're not going to make the call. It's done the 79 of Andrew Richardson to the back. A very interesting decision there as the pace car pulls off, so the 79 will remain your leader. And Travis McKinney will be in second. The 79 is off. Green flag back out. 3 laps of racing to go here.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with these top 3 or 4 cars. We've seen bumpers come into play, and we'll see if that happens again. But here's Jason Berg battling for the 5th spot. Actually, that would be the 4th spot, excuse me. Diving it into turn number 3. Wow. Sure,
Here comes McKinney as well. Speaking of the dive, he's trying to get to that rear bumper of the 79 with 2 laps to go here at the line.
Yeah, and he knows that 79 moved the 02 out of the way earlier, and
Also
probably not going to be
behind.
not going to be too sorry if he does it himself.
Here we go into turn 3. McKinney is going to have a lap left to do something. 2 more corners now as they take the white flag. He's going to get into the wall as well as the 92 of Casey Tillman. That allows the 79 to extend his lead. Just behind, Jason Berg tries to make the move on the 80 of Paulson. Here comes the 92 of Casey Tillman underneath the 48. And I think it's going to be too little too late here for that leader. 79 of Andrew Richardson, a little bump to the back of Seth Fraser, will send him to the lead, and he's going to win here tonight at the Lucas Oil Raceway.
Photo finish for second place with the 92 and 48. 92 nipped him by 1/1000th of a second. Wow, well that certainly got pretty good at the end there. We saw some good racing and some fireworks, and at the end of it, Andrew Richardson going to come home with the win.
And at the end of it, really, though, Cameron, we knew that was going to be what it took to be able to make the pass, I guess, for the win here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, not the most popular move to make, probably, if you're Seth Fraser, but, of course, this is short track racing, and you kind of have to expect that to happen, especially on a track like this where it's so hard to pass.
As those guys get gridded up, their pictures, top 3. Wait and see if we can't talk to the winner here tonight. But how about one driver that kind of snuck into the picture there late? Casey Tillman was running basically top 5 all night. Comes home with the 2nd place finish here. See if we can't to 3rd place Travis McKinney. Travis, 3YTV, you got a copy?
I got you.
All right, up towards the front all night really, and just barely got beat out of the line for 2nd there, but a good night overall for you.
Yeah, this is an extremely tough track. I mean, I am wore out. Had some really good racing. Had some questionable racing. But it was, I mean, overall, I didn't get wrecked. Got to finish the race. I was, you know, shooting for a top 5. I'm good with the finish. 3rd's not bad.
Maybe kind of talk to us about how difficult it was here to pass tonight. We physically saw it on track. Both a move with you and the 79 for 2nd, and then a bump for the lead. And it really seemed like that's what it was going to take here tonight to be able to pass.
Well, everybody, I mean, getting into the corner, it's almost one group getting in. And then, I mean, you can do side by side. It's just really, really hard to get the power down on the inside. And that high side carries so much momentum that, I mean, the guy on the outside's got to make a mistake for the guy on the inside to get by.
All right, well, your third place finish here tonight. Do you have any sponsors you have to give a shout out to for this performance?
I want to thank Mike Designs for painting me up this car. Seth and BJ and everybody at Northwest Tour for on a good league. You guys up booth. I watch the races afterwards every time just to recap. It's a really fun league to be in, and thanks everybody for everybody showing up and putting on a good show. It's some fun racing.
Alrighty, well, congratulations, Travis, here tonight on a great run and a third place finish.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Kim, let's see if we can't get you caught up with the 92 of Casey Tillman, who finished second tonight.
I've got Casey Tillman here, runner-up tonight. Casey Tillman, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, man. Well, we saw you start the race in third. Pretty much ran top 5 all night, coming home in second spot. Tell us about your race, bud.
Well, I mean, for the biggest part, I mean, it was a lot of laps, so I just was kind of riding back there. You know, those guys got by me pretty early on, and so I just was happy to fall in there, I think, in 5th or so and ride for a while. And then, obviously, you know, caution here and caution there. Found ourselves still running up top 5. That last drive off coming out of the corner, I can't believe it actually stuck as well as it did. That was a hell of a finish with Travis and those guys. But I got to thank Pit Stop USA for jumping on board for sponsoring the series and that. And, of course, Seth and BJ and everybody that is so involved in the series. This is my first podium finish, actually, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we saw some aggressive racing there for the lead, and saw some bumpers being used. Did you think that you were going to get up there and have anything to challenge that 79 car?
I don't know. I mean, I felt like I still had a pretty decent race car. I'd saved tires pretty much the whole race. So if I could have got by Travis a little sooner, you know, we might have been able to make a good run at it. Whether I would have got him or not, I don't know. But it's called short track racing for a reason, right? A little bump and run or something. You never know.
Yes, you're very right about that. And well, next week we go to the bit different South Boston Speedway in Virginia. How are you looking forward to that race?
You know, I just, like I said, I'm kind of new to the series. I only ran a handful last year, and, you know, I've ran, I think, most of them this year except a couple, so I'm still getting comfortable, and, you know, I don't want to use up anybody, but hopefully we can have a good top 5 finish again and finish the year strong.
All right, man. Well, congrats on your first podium finish. It's always a good milestone. And as always, thank you for talking with us. But before we let you go, we know you got some shout-outs to give us, so let's hear them.
Well, like I said, I got to give a shout-out to Pit Stop USA. Andy and Kyle, those guys are awesome. I've bought a lot of stuff through those guys, and they're definitely the ones or one-stop shop, I guess you could say, to get anything and everything you need. So make sure you guys check them out online and go buy all your parts through them.
All right, man. Well, that was your second place finisher, Casey Tillman, starting third and finishing second. Pretty good run for that machine. And Justin Kolb has caught up with the winner, Andrew Richardson.
Yes, sir. Andrew Richardson through ITV. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
And I feel like we just talked to you. Well, hold on for those final 4 laps, and maybe you can kind of explain the call there, or the no call there at the end, and how you held on for those last 4 laps.
Yeah, you know, like I said, we were talking earlier, I feel bad to back Seth like that. You know, he was one of those deals. I was a hair quick, trying to be smooth, and got into him, and unfortunately, this track, you're kind of free all the way around it. Just barely tapped him and turned him around. Second time I ran. Not quite sure how their policies always work, so having a tough time. Have to do it through a buddy. I'm not sure how they're going to rule it. Obviously, I didn't.
I think we may have lost Andrew there.
I still got you guys. You got me?
Yeah, there you go. Well, overall, though, a great run for you here tonight. Worked your way up through the field and, like you said, came home first and kind of talked about it with the other two. It just seemed like it was really difficult to pass here tonight.
Yeah, track position was really huge, so it had to stay up front. I started the pole, led a lot. Towards the middle of the race, fumbled on a restart. Seth and them guys got back by, but saving early, so up with them. And
all right, well, Andrew, congratulations on the win here tonight. Before we let you go, do you have any sponsors you gotta give a shout out for this performance?
Yeah, I gotta thank Big Rich Marketing for the racing setup, and then Top USA out a little bit. So,
all right, Andrew. Well,
back to these guys.
Well, congrats on the win here tonight, and wish you the best of luck here these next two races at South Boston and New Smyrna. Hope to talk to you again soon.
Yep, thanks, guys.
All right. Well, definitely a fun race, Cameron, and really not surprised at the end how these guys were having to race. Just some good short track racing there at the end, and it ended up with a bump for the win.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming home first, we got Andrew Richardson, who we just talked to. Casey Tillman going to come home runner-up. Travis McKinney coming home third. James Paulson fourth. Jason Berg made a pretty good rebound, finished fifth. Dylan Huffine sixth. Bart Hector Jr. finishing seventh. Those three cars were pretty much each other all race. Christopher Hine, quiet night for him, coming home eighth. Donovan Barr had some issues off turn number 4 a few times, coming home ninth. And Daniel Masters out of the B main, finishing 10th.
Then in 11th, you have Garrett Sisk. BJ Tidrick going to come home in the 12th position. Seth Fraser, after a bump for the lead, going to come home in the 13th position. Brad Morrison, 14th. Brian Lambert, 15th. Andy Fuller in 16th. Shane Quinn, 17th. Daryl Tidrick, 18th. Ted Shannon, 19th. And Josh Robinson in 20th.
Finishing 21st, got Scott Mann, had some issues there at the end. Sean Brightsman actually parked for 2 incidents. Matt Kingsbury, not the night he's going to want either. And Devin Petty, saw him get into the wall quite a bit early on in this race. Not the night he wanted either.
Well, with that, the finish we saw here tonight with Jason Berg finishing 5th. And Sean Brightsman, unfortunately, getting parked, finishing 22nd. We might have all but secured who this champion is going to be. Obviously, we'll let you know in 2 weeks' time when we head to South Boston for the twin A mains there, 2 100-lap races. That is March 10th, so in 2 weeks' time. Hope to see you then, and be interesting to see. It'll only be after that night, 1 race left at New Smyrna, and then we will decide a champion. Hope to see you 2 weeks' time in South Boston. For Carlos Costa, Cameron Rich, I'm Justin Cole. We thank you for watching here tonight. We hope to see you in 2 weeks' time.